If you have your horse and you're asking him to get on him at the mounting block, and they swing their butt around, blatantly not allowing you to get on, the problem isn't really swinging the hip around. Nope, wait for me. The problem isn't really the act of swinging the hip around. That's a symptom. The actual problem is the horse's mindset of not being in the mindset of, okay, let's go do something. You're in charge, you're the leader, you'll be the leader, I'll be the follower, let's go do something. That's your actual problem. The swinging the hip around is just a symptom of the problem. Back probably 20, 30, maybe even longer ago than that, people were going all over the country doing clinics, putting out a lot of videos, and a lot of clinicians did a lot of good and getting kind of spreading the word out about modern horse training. And they did a really good job of that, but there was some negatives to that also. And part of the negatives was every time they would talk about, how do we fix this problem? How do we fix that problem? How do we get groundwork for respect? How do we do saddling? How do we get on? How do we break a young colt? They put a lot of emphasis into their steps, their program, so that they could sell their program. But what they didn't teach, with part that they left out, was that their particular individual program, which they all work, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them, they all work, but what they didn't teach you to do is look at the individual situation, and instead of fixing the symptom, fix the problem. See, now he's just backing up. He's doing little bitty things, and I've talked about how little bitty things add up. I'm going to make him move his feet. This is Bob, by the way. Since I started giving him that immune builder, he is much more sassy and independent. No, I don't you rub on me. He is getting bad about his face. Back when he was little, he would get some hand-fed treats. He came to me that way, but he got real mouthy and real body. And since we've been giving him that immune builder, of course we're giving it to him on the stick like I showed you in the video, he's getting a little offensive with his face. So you saw him push on me a minute ago. I pushed his face back. I'm going to make sure the punishment fits the crime. If he just gives me a little, kind of comes into my space, I'm just going to push him out of my space. I'm not going to make a huge deal about it. If he gets real offensive and he puts his head over here and he about knocks me down, I'm going to make him move his feet. I'm going to lunge him. I'm going to do something to let him know that I'm the leader. And that's the whole point of what I want to get the point across when the horse is swinging their butt around, not letting you get on. It's not whatever technique, whatever drill, I can say, you do this, this is how you fix the problem, which if the horse swings its butt around, doesn't let me get on, I'm going to lunge him. But it's not the lunging in itself that fixes the problem. It's not that act. It is what the horse learns from the lunging. And he learns that you are the leader, you are in charge. That's what actually fixed him swinging his butt around or not standing for you to get on at the step. So when you have a problem with your horse, whatever that problem is, that problem is a symptom of an issue. There are only 3 possible issues. It cannot be any more than 3. It is pain, it's a lack of training, or it's a lack of respect. That is the only 3 possible issues that a horse could have. Everything that you see, like swinging the butt around, walking out from the mounting block, rubbing on you, that's all symptoms of one of those three things. You typically, and I'm typically, want to rule pain out first. But to what extent do you go through to rule pain out? That's the next thing I want to cover. It's kind of a continuation. Yes, you do want to rule pain out, but let's say you have a 1% chance of pain and a 99% chance that it's a lack of respect. Just drawing those numbers out of the air. Are you going to spend your training time on that 1% chance? Or are you going to spend your training time on that 99% chance? You have to use a little bit of common sense there. And I'm probably going to get some pushback here from a lot of people. You got to use some common sense. Yeah, horse might be in a little bit of discomfort someplace, but you as a person, if you're working out, getting fit, going to the gym, you're going to have some discomfort. You working your horse, getting it fit, working out, you're going to have some, he's going to have some discomfort. He's going to have some discomfort. It's part of building muscle, part of building frame. That is all part of it. I want that horse to learn to work through that type of pain. Now, I'm not talking about poor saddle fit. I'm not talking about sore feet, sore joints, anything like that. I am talking about the typical discomfort that you have from exercising. I want that horse to learn to work through that. That's part of life. It's part of life for a person. It's part of life for a horse. If a horse is in the wild and it could be something serious. He could have a bad foot issue, a bad joint issue. And if a predator comes after him, he still has to flee from that predator or he dies. When I have a horse that, don't do it. You notice I'm getting a little bit more aggressive, but I'm not doing anything real drastic. I just want to say, no, putting your face on me is not acceptable. I know why he's doing that. He's doing that because he's looking for the supplement. He's always been bad about treats. He likes it. He's looking for it. So, go forward. So, I want that horse to work through that pain. And if he is building muscle, the worst thing you can do when you or your horse is getting fit is to quit when it gets to be a little uncomfortable. Worst thing you can do, worst thing you can do for your horse. So I want that horse to learn to had enough. I asked him several times nicely. That was my opportunity to go ahead and get on to him harder. You gonna behave now? So it's not with him standing at this step, that movement he's doing is not actually the problem. The problem is he has a little bit of lack of respect because he wants his supplement. He considers that a treat because he likes it. That is the problem, that lack of respect. This movement around the block is not the actual problem. That's a symptom of a problem. But back to what I was talking about. The worst thing you can do when you or your horse is in a little bit of discomfort from getting more fit is to stop. So if I'm working this horse, getting him more fit, and I know that he might be a little sore here in the hips, he might be a little sore in the shoulders from getting fit, I expect him to work through it. I am not going to give him that time off because then we're never going to work past the hump. It's just like once you work past the hump exercising, it's not a big deal. So I'll never get him past the hump if I give him that time off and stop. But what happens is we get past the hump and he will learn to do what I ask him to do, not be blatant disobedient when something is sore. I'm not going to push him hard if he's got a joint problem, if he's got a foot problem. That's totally different. Don't put in the comments and change around what I'm saying. What I'm saying is your horse needs to respect what you're asking to do, even if they're a little bit uncomfortable. So if you have a horse and you think there's a 99% chance that it's disrespect and only a 1% chance that it's pain, you should be working that 99%. If it is pain, if it does start to realize, okay, there is a pain issue, that will show up, and then you'll realize, okay, that we do have something else here that we need to work on. So as you're looking at your horse, don't just look at the symptom. We've all been kind of, it's been kind of programmed into us to look at the symptom, fix the symptom. It's not how you should be working with your horse. Look at the symptoms, but fix the problem. If your horse is sliding his butt around, not letting you get on, there is another symptom somewhere that needs to be fixed. If you have small kids and they're doing something they shouldn't be, whatever that might be, playing in the mud, jumping on the sofa, whatever, and you say, get out from there, quit doing that, yeah, they'll quit, but they're going to go do something else that they shouldn't be doing. So in the process of working with your horse, refocus your horse's attention like you would refocus your kid's attention. Instead of saying, no, don't do that, let's say, let's do this instead. So if the horse is swinging his butt around, I could go get a crop and I could work on getting him to cue up at the block. But that is just going to fix that problem or fix that symptom. The problem is still there. The problem is going to show up somewhere else. So work on the actual problem, look at the symptoms, but work on the actual problem and fix that problem. So this is Bob. I'll put a link up here to the other videos that I've done with him. He's coming along really nice. I plan to be showing him this coming up year. Until next time, thank you for watching.